of Surrey, in province of British Columbia, did cause the death of Nick Smith and Polly Smith by the way of criminal negligence, contrary to Section 220 of the Criminal Code of Canada against the peace of Our Lady, the Queen, her crown, the Queen.
So, James Clark, please stand up.
Do you plead guilty or not?
Okay, seated. So, welcome everybody this afternoon to trial. This is Regina versus James Clark. And James Clark, as you've just seen, has pleaded not guilty to 2 counts of criminal negligence causing death. So a little bit of a backstory before we get started. James Clark was out one night with 2 friends, Christoph Hockley and Cora Lee Moore, his girlfriend. They were driving around, getting into some activities, and at about 6 a.m., the incident occurred, in which a tree branch was broken off of a tree and jammed onto the accelerator of a Ford Explorer. This Ford Explorer then went careening through an intersection, smashing into a motorcycle which had an adult male and his 5-year-old daughter on the motorcycle. They were immediately killed, and James Clark is here today in court. So the charges are criminal negligence causing death, which means that this person did not mean to kill anybody necessarily, but they were completely neglectful, meaning that they acted recklessly and were not caring or thinking about the potential consequences of their dangerous actions. So those are some of the basic details, and we are going to move forward with introductions from both Crown and Defense Counsel. So for now, please just introduce yourselves, and then we'll move on to opening statements. So Crown Counsel, may you introduce yourself?
I'm Sharon, and I'm the Crown Prosecutor.
Excellent. And Defense Counsel, you may introduce yourselves.
I'm D-Doggy Dog,
And I'm Mr. Brown, and we are on Defense Counsel.
Very well. So we have heard the indictment already. James Clark has pleaded not guilty. So we are going to proceed now and hear opening statements from both Crown and Defense. So Crown Counsel, if you'd like to go first, address the jury.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, and your honor, today we are here to speak about James Clark and his reckless actions which caused the death of 2 innocent people. This case is quite simple, actually. If you look at it logically, you would undoubtedly find that James Clark is guilty. We have 2 witnesses, Cora Lee Moore and Christoph Hockley, who are witnesses of the fact that the accused had intention to send the car through the intersection and was well aware of the consequences. Christoph also is claiming that he saw the accused wedge a stick that would send the vehicle uncontrolled down the street. But both witnesses are witnessed that the accused broke the stick off, which was, as he said, would do the job. And the evidence is also well backed up by testimonies given by witness Annie Thompson and Dr. Elizabeth Boersma, who will shed light on the forensic evidence of the case. It is clear act of criminal negligence, as stated in Criminal Code Section 220. Every person who by criminal negligence causes death to another person is guilty of an indictable offense and is on James' behalf. The families of the 2 innocent people who were killed by the reckless act will forever be in effect. And I assure you that after hearing the testimonies of the witnesses, who have no reason to lie due to the close relation between Cora Lee and Christoph, that the jury will come to the right conclusion by convicting James Clark.
Thank you very much. Defense Counsel, would you like to give an opening statement? You may proceed.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, and thank you for being here. My name is D-Doggy Dog, and I'll be the defense lawyer for this case with my partner, Mr. Brown. Today we're here to discuss the unfortunate accident that took place on the night of October 11th, 2000. On that night, 2 people were confirmed to be involved in an unfortunate accident. This includes Christoph Hockley, a 20-year-old male who has been best friends with Jamie since the age of 14. Also involved was Jamie's girlfriend, Cora Lee Moore, a 19-year-old female. There's also a 3rd person involved, but his or her identity is not completely confirmed, but is thought to be Jamie Clark. The Crown will be quick to point fingers at Jamie Clark, who is thought to be responsible who is thought to be responsible, even though it is not completely confirmed that he was even at the site of the crime. He is still the one who's being accused for the crime. The Crown will be trusted and will be quick to criticize any bit of evidence they see, no matter how vague. We will prove how they are absolutely wrong to assume that Jamie Clark is responsible for this unfortunate event.
Very well. Thank you very much. So now that we've heard these opening statements, we are going to move on to our first Crown witness. So Crown Counsel, you may call your first witness.
I would like to call upon Constable Vanderpump.
Constable Vanderplop.
She's not here today. Julia.
Do you have her testimony?
Yes.
Anybody want to read it?
Well, I don't have her answers, but I have the questions.
Oh, okay. Yeah, she could just read off of the thing. Would you like to do? Okay, so you can swear yourself in.
Do you have to do it?
Yep.
I swear that the evidence you are about to give to the court and jury sworn between our sworn lady and the Queen and the prisoner at the bar shall be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth.
Do you?
Yes, I do.
Very well, you may be seated. Okay, you may proceed with direct examination.
Hello. Hello. Could you please state your name and occupation for the court?
Constable Van per
Okay, how long have you been working for the RCMP?
10 years.
Okay. And what were you doing the morning of October 11th, 2000?
I was just checking up on them.
Okay. And what time did you receive a call and what time did you arrive at 96th Street?
I got the call at approximately 6:42, and I arrived at the scene at 6:47.
Okay. And sorry. What did you see at the crime scene?
I saw a Ford Explorer parked up on the sidewalk, surrounded by a small crowd of people. As I made my way through the crowd, I noticed a small child and an adult lying a distance away.
Okay. And was there anyone inside the vehicle?
No.
And was there any items inside the vehicle?
No. Oh, there was a stick.
Yes. And that is the first evidence?
Yes. Right there.
Yes, right over here. So, this is the stick that you found lodged between the accelerator and the front seat of the Ford Explorer?
Yep.
Okay, we are going to submit this as Exhibit A. So this is the stick, everyone.
That is all, Your Honor.
Okay, very well. Thank you very much. Constable Vanderplop, you may be seated. As I believe, defense, do you have any cross-examination questions? Very well, you may be seated. And we will move on to hear from the next Crown witness. So Crown Counsel, go ahead.
Okay. I'd like to call upon Allie Block.
Allie Block.
Okay. Tara Smith.
Tara Smith. Tara Smith, you need to get sworn.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear to speak the truth?
Yes. I swear to speak the truth.
Only the truth,
Only the truth.
nothing but the truth.
Amen.
Oh, you may be seated.
You may be seated. Okay, Crown Counsel, you may proceed with direct examination.
I'm sorry for your loss, Tara Smith.
Thank you.
Okay. So, if would you mind stating your name, occupation, and age for me?
My name is Tara Smith. I'm an accountant and I'm currently 35 years old.
Would you please state your relationship with Nick and Polly Smith?
Oh, my beautiful Polly.
As you can see, she's very disturbed by the fact that her daughter and husband were killed by this negligent act.
Polly's my daughter. Nick is my beloved husband.
So, could you tell us where were you after October 11, 2000?
I was in my house getting ready for work, and my husband was taking my daughter to the babysitter.
And what time did you leave the house?
I left the house roughly around 6:30 a.m.
And where were your husband going? Where were your husband and your daughter going?
They were going to the babysitter.
And what kind of vehicle was he driving?
A motorcycle.
Okay. And around what time did your husband and daughter leave the house?
6:15.
Okay. And what time did you receive the call about this horrible incident?
7:15 a.m. Constable Vanderplop called me and said there'd been an accident. And I thought my husband and my daughter were dead.
Did you identify the bodies of your innocent daughter and husband?
Yes.
I'm sorry for your loss. Thank you.
There's no further questions. You may be seated. Crown Counsel, defense, do you have any cross-examination questions for this witness?
We do.
Okay, just a few more questions, Ms. Smith.
Ms. Smith,
Yes.
I'm very sorry about your loss. I have to ask you a few questions. All right.
Yes.
Okay. So on that unfortunate day, did anything seem different?
No, it was just like a normal day, you know. Woke up, take her to school, I was going to work, come back home, have dinner, sleep. It was a normal day. Why would anyone do such a thing? Ah!
And what time did you say you left your house?
6:30.
And where were you going?
I was going to Vancouver, or I was going for some business stuff, you know.
And what were the weather conditions like?
Normal.
I'm very sorry about your loss, Miss Smith. I believe that is all. Thank you.
If there's no further questions, you may be seated. Thank you, Ms. Smith, for your testimony. I know that must be very difficult. Very sorry for your loss. Okay. Crown Counsel, you may call your next witness.
I'd like to call my next listed witness, Christoph Hockley.
Christoph Hockley.
Raise your right hand. I do swear to speak the truth, only the truth, nothing but the truth. You may be seated.
Hello, Christoph.
Hello,
Could you please state your name, age, and occupation?
I'm Christoph Hockley. I'm 20 years old, unemployed. I currently live with my parents in Wally.
Okay. And what is your current relationship with both Coralie Moore and the accused, Jamie Clark?
I knew Jamie Clark since I was 14 and Coralie Moore since I was 16.
Okay. And where were you the night of October 10th?
Well, at approximately 11:30 p.m., I was watching TV in my parents' basement.
Okay. And what happened?
Well, Coralie Moore and Jamie Clark knocked at the basement window, and I went out the back door and joined them in their new buddy's Ford Explorer.
And what time did you leave the house?
I left at approximately 11:45.
And do you know the model of the vehicle you were in and who was driving?
It was Ford Explorer and Jamie was driving.
And so what did you do for the rest of the night?
The rest of the night we cruised around, drove around Surrey and looking for friends, and at approximately 3 a.m. Jamie stopped the vehicle at a street.
Okay. And did you perhaps do anything else while you guys were driving around?
Well, 3 of us got out in a parking lot and checked for some valuables in cars, and we broke into 2 cars and we stole some CDs. And
Okay, and where'd you guys go next?
well, the rest of the night we drove in the Ford Explorer around Surrey and did the same thing, broke into more cars, stole more CDs.
Okay. And what happened in the morning?
Well, at approximately 6 a.m., we all drove to Jamie's house and dropped off all the CDs that we stolen from the cars. And decided to go to McDonald's for breakfast.
Okay, and who was with you at McDonald's?
Well, all three of us, Corley, Moore, and Jamie Clark.
And did anything out of the ordinary happen at the restaurant?
No.
Okay, and then where'd you guys go next?
Then we drove close to the 96th Avenue and 125th Street, and that's where Jamie pulled over the car and Corley Moore got out of the car.
Did-
We stayed.
Did you and Jamie talk about anything?
Jamie told me that it was time to lose the car for explosion.
Were you aware the vehicle was stolen before this?
No. I asked him, but isn't it your friend? He laughed and told me to get real.
Okay. And did he say anything else?
He told me to wipe the inside of the car to get rid of any fingerprints.
And did you?
Yes, I did.
Okay, and what was Jamie doing while you were wiping the fingerprints?
Well, Jamie got out of the car and walked over to a nearby tree and broke off a branch.
And what did Jamie do with this branch?
Before he did anything with the branch, he told me to get out of the car unless you want to ride it for life.
Okay. And
And then he said, hey, do you want to see this thing go down 96th Street?
did you guys witness the crash?
Yes, we did.
Okay, and what did you do after the car crashed?
We all ran home. And,
Okay. How did you find out about the severity of this accident?
Later that day on TV, I heard about the incident. So I got upset.
Okay. And why did you report the events to the police?
I hated being the rat, but I was so ashamed of what Jamie did that I had to testify against him.
And how is your relationship with Jamie?
I have nothing against Jamie. He's just my little friend. No reasons to blame him.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, very well. No further questions, you may be seated. Defense counsel, would you like to cross-examine this witness?
Yes.
Okay, you may approach.
What did you tell the police after you reported the event?
I told the police all what happened and what happened through the night and everything after the crash. Then I got arrested and charged for possession of stolen property.
When did you find out that the car was stolen?
I found out the car was stolen when Jamie told me that we have to lose the Ford Explorer. That was my presentation.
What's on your criminal record?
Objection.
On what grounds?
It doesn't have it's not relevant.
Okay.
Yeah, it helps us in deciding whether he's lying or not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Very interesting. I'm going to overrule this objection, and absolutely, I am very interested to hear about Christoph Hockley's criminal record as it pertains to this particular incident. Thank you.
1 year prior to these events, I was suspended 6 months suspension for stealing a car stereo.
Is it possible that you were framing Jamie maybe to escape the police?
I have no reason to frame Jamie. We had our differences, but we've always been friends.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Hawksley. You may be seated. Okay, Crown Counsel, you can call your next witness.
I'd like to call upon Coralie Moore.
Coralie Moore.
Do you swear that the evidence you are about to give to the court and the jury sworn between our sovereign lady and the queen and the prisoner at the bar shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Thank you, Ms. Moore. You may be seated. And Crown Counsel, you may proceed with direct examination.
Good afternoon. What is your name, age, and occupation?
I'm Coralie Moore. I'm 19 and an adult.
And what is your relationship with the accused, Jamie Clark?
He's my boyfriend.
Okay. And how is your relationship with Christoph Hockley?
He's my friend.
Okay, and what were you doing the night of October 10, 2000?
Well, Jamie, I was just walking down the sidewalk, and Jamie came up in a Ford Explorer,
And what time did Jamie arrive?
about 10:30.
Okay. And were you aware that the car was stolen?
No, I asked him where he got it from. He just told me it was from a friend.
Okay, and did you question that?
Yes, I did, and he just told me to mind my own business.
Okay. Where'd you head next?
We went over to Christoph's house at approximately 11:30.
Okay.
And it was recently.
And approximately what time did you leave his house?
About 11:30.
Okay. And where did the three of you go next?
We just went around the city, Surrey, and we broke into cars.
Okay. And so the three of you were stealing CDs, am I correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. And where'd you guys go next?
We went to McDonald's in the next day in the morning at 6 a.m.
Okay. Did anything?
Oh, I'm sorry, it's 6:30.
Okay. Did anything out of the ordinary happen at McDonald's?
No.
Okay. And where'd you guys go next?
We went back to the car, but I was really tired, so I was just sitting by the side.
Did all three of you leave McDonald's together?
Yeah.
Okay. And what time did Jimmy pull over the car?
6:30.
Okay. And what were you doing?
I was just sitting outside.
Okay. Did you possibly hear if Jamie or Christoph had any conversations?
Oh yeah, I heard something about fingerprints, and also I heard Jamie say something like, "Do you want to see this thing go through 96?"
Okay. And what was Jamie doing?
Jamie got out of the car and broke off a branch from a tree
Okay.
and went back to the car.
What did he do with the branch?
I believe he jammed it into the vehicle's
Okay. And so did either of the boys say anything after this?
Okay, and well, let's just run away.
Okay. So when did you hear about the severities of the accident?
Later that day,
Okay.
I heard people talking about that it killed 2 people, and I was really upset about that.
And what happened next?
Well, 2 days later, the day after, the RCMP came over to my house, and they asked me if I knew anything about the incident.
Okay.
Yeah, and I said that I did because I didn't want Jamie to get in trouble. But then I felt really bad for the dad and the daughter, so I told.
Okay. And how'd you feel about the whole incident?
I feel really bad because it cost a life to individuals.
Thank you.
Very well, you may be seated. And defense counsel, you may cross-examine this witness if you have any questions for her.
So, were you with Jamie and Christoph on the night of October 10th? So, and what is your current relationship with Jamie?
He's my boyfriend.
And did Jamie tell you that the car was stolen?
No, he told me it's 4.
It was what?
4.
Okay. Did you get into an argument with Jamie a week prior to this incident?
Yeah, we did.
And what was this argument about?
It was just a fight. I'm not sure. I don't remember.
Was it severe enough to end your relationship?
Not really. We usually fight and get hurt.
So do you find it strange that Jamie told you to mind your own business?
No, that's just usually how it goes.
Okay. So is it possible that you're trying to get back at Jamie by trying to frame him?
No.
Did you actually see Jamie break off this branch? in
Yeah, I
question?
did. Sorry?
In this branch here, did you actually see him break off the branch?
Yeah, I did.
You did. So did you see him put it behind the accelerator?
No.
Do you think it's possible that Christoph might have put the branch on the accelerator?
But I think Jamie did, because he was the one who got off the branch.
Yeah, but what's the question?
Alright.
Is it possible?
Yeah, like I said, do you think it's possible that Christoph might have put the branch on the accelerator?
Maybe.
And how sure are you about that?
I'm not that sure, but I believe Jamie did.
Okay. Alright. Were you intoxicated at all in that instance?
No.
Okay.
seated. Thank you, Ms. Moore, for your testimony this afternoon. You may be seated as well. And Crown Counsel, you may call your next witness.
I'd like to call upon Elizabeth Borsma.
Elizabeth Borsma.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear to speak the truth, nothing but the truth, nothing but the truth? You may be seated.
Crown Counsel, you may proceed.
Good afternoon, Dr. Borsma. Could you please introduce yourself to the court?
My name is Dr. Elizabeth Brosman.
Would you tell us your occupation?
I am a forensic scientist with a PhD, and we are working with our CFD's bigger printing department.
And how long have you worked with your sample?
I've been working with it over 10 years.
Dr. Borsma, did you examine the vehicle in question?
Yes, I examined the vehicle in question on October 12, 2000.
And upon finishing the examination of the vehicle in question, can you describe what you found?
Upon finishing the examination, I found that most of the fingerprints were white clean. The stick found by Constable Vonderplan in the scene was that its prints were determined unusable. However, we have found a full print that perfectly matches the suspect, James Clark, behind the steering wheel. Also, we have found a partial print outside the passenger side door, which is consistent with the fingerprint of Christoph Hall.
Okay. Thank you.
Very well, you may be seated. Defense Counsel, you may cross-examine Dr. Borsma, if you so choose.
Would it have been possible that the prints which you found may have been left at any point during the night?
In my professional opinion, yes, it could.
So with this in mind, could this possibly mean that Jamie may not have been the one behind the wheel?
Yes.
Okay, very interesting. Thank you very much, Dr. Borsma, for your expert testimony. You may be seated. And Crown Counsel, do you have any further witnesses to call?
I'd like to call upon Anne Thomas.
Anne Thomas.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear to speak the truth, nothing but the truth, only the truth, nothing but the truth? I do. You may be seated.
You may take a seat. Thank you for making it down here this afternoon, Ms. Thomas.
How are you doing today? Would you mind stating your full name, age, and occupation?
I am Ann Thomas, 92 years old, and I'm a retired legal secretary.
And where do you live?
I live a few houses away from where the crash took place.
Mind if I ask, what were you doing the morning of October 11th?
I was sitting in my living room, enjoying my morning coffee and listening to the radio, when suddenly a loud roaring engine noise came from outside.
And what did you see outside?
I saw a Ford Explorer race down the street and disappear from my sight.
And did you see anyone?
I saw 3 people. I'm pretty sure 2 of them were male and 1 of them was female.
Can you identify those 3 people as Coralie, Christoph, and Jamie?
No, but I am certain that one of the males had shoulder-length hair.
Okay. And what did you do next?
I immediately dialed the police and reported the accident.
Thank you.
Well, there's no further questions. You may have a seat. And Defense Counsel, you may cross-examine the witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. Hello, Ms. Thomas. How do you do today?
Good.
Good. I'm going to ask you some questions. Is that all right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, how old were you at the time of this unfortunate tragedy?
92.
Two of middle age. So you said that you saw 2 males and 1 female running behind the car. Is that correct?
Yep.
And are you absolutely sure that you saw 2 males and 1 female?
I'm pretty sure.
But not 100%?
No, but I'm pretty sure.
Okay. So are you absolutely sure that the male with shoulder-length hair was actually a male? And In fact, are you absolutely certain about the genders of each of the three?
I can't say I am 100% sure, but I'm positive that both there were two males and one female, and one of the guys had shoulder-length hair because he was wearing male clothing.
And do you see an optometrist? Had you seen your optometrist before this incident?
Yes.
How often do you see her?
Whenever I feel like it.
Okay. Can you please state the visual acuity that you had on October 11, 2000, for an approximate?
20 to 100.
Okay. Are you considered to be legally blind without your glasses?
Yes, I am.
Okay. And did you have your glasses on when you were looking out the window?
I'm pretty sure I did.
But are you 100%?
No.
Do you possibly remember the state of your window? Was it clean?
Yes, I get to clean it every day.
Every day?
Yes.
It's very good of you, Ms. Thomas. Thank you very much for your answers. You'll be on your own.
Okay, no further questions, you may be seated. Thank you, Ms. Thomas, for coming down this afternoon. I trust that you can make your way back to your seat.
Thank you.
Fantastic. So, Crown Counsel, do you have any further witnesses to call this afternoon?
No, I do not.
Okay, Crown rests. So, we will move on, and the defense will now open their case and call their first witness.
I would like to call Jamie Clark.
Jamie Clark, the accused.
Please swear to speak the truth, only the truth, nothing but the truth. I do.
You may be seated. Defense counsel, you may proceed.
How old are you, and what's your address, and what school do you go to?
I'm 19 years old. I'm unemployed and I live with my father in Surrey, BC.
What were your whereabouts on October 10th and October 11th?
On October 10th, 2000, at about approximately 10:30, I was walking towards my girlfriend's house. And then when me and my girlfriend were walking together, my friend Christoph pulled over in a new Ford Explorer.
Can you please tell the court what happened that night?
Christoph told us to hop in, and we did exactly that. And all three of us, the entire night, we roamed around town. And I didn't question Christoph about the car.
What is your relationship with Christoph Hawkins
He's my girlfriend.
and your relationship with Coralie Moore?
She's my girlfriend.
Do you know where Christoph got that car?
No, and I didn't question him because he was driving.
Okay. So who can exactly prove that you left McDonald's at 6:30 p.m.?
I'm not really sure.
Okay, what were your activities from 10:30 a.m. to 6:30 p.m.?
As I said before, from 10:30. After we hopped in the car, we roamed around town, and at 6:30 we went to McDonald's to eat breakfast.
Do you know the model of the car Christoph was driving?
It was a Ford Explorer.
Did you ever happen to touch the car or even drive the car?
I don't remember honestly.
So as you say, after you got mad at Coralie and Christoph for flirting, what did you do then after that?
I got mad at Christoph and we had a small argument, and after that I left McDonald's and went home.
Did anything else happen that night?
No, I did not. I went straight to bed.
Do you know anything about the victims whom the police questioned you?
No, I did not.
Is there anything else which you did?
I'd be curious to know when Mr. Clark found out about the accident.
I found out when the police came to my house in the morning.
In the morning the next day
The
of
next day.
October 11th.
Yes.
Okay, very well. Any further questions?
No.
Okay, you may be seated. And Crown Counsel, you may cross-examine the accused.
Jamie, can I call you that?
Of course.
So you said the night of October 10th, you got picked up in a Ford Explorer by Christoph.
Yes.
Did you happen to drive the car at any point?
I
So you're not sure how your fingerprints might have gotten on the steering wheel?
No.
Okay. And so when you what did you do that night? Did you happen to break into any cars?
Not at all. We didn't steal anything.
You didn't steal anything.
Not at all.
So Coralie Moore and Christoph Hockley said that they did steal things from cars, CDs, and then they dropped it at your house. You're saying that you didn't. Okay. And what did you do in the morning?
After I had an argument with Christoph, I went straight home.
Okay. Did anyone see you come home?
No, I went straight to bed, so my father didn't see me.
So you have no one to prove that you actually went home.
Not really.
Okay. And what kind of hair did you have at that point?
At that point, my hair was shoulder length.
Okay. So a shorter length hair, which was much like the hair that Ann Thomas saw in the morning. And so what was your relationship with Coralie Moore at that time?
She was my girlfriend, and we were happy.
Okay. And what was your relationship with Christoph?
The same. He was my friend.
Okay. And did you have a relationship with Ali Block, who was working at McDonald's at that point?
No.
No?
No.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, very well. You may be seated, Mr. Clark. Thank you. Defense counsel, do you have any further witnesses to call?
Yes, Your Honor. We'd like to call Ally Block to the stand.
Ally Block?
Missouri, do you swear to speak the truth, only the truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes.
You may be seated.
Take a seat. And you may proceed with direct examination.
Thank you, Your Honor. Hello, Ms. Block. How are you today?
Fine. Thank you for asking. I was working.
It was very good.
No, that's fine.
So, can you please state your name for the court? Your full name.
My name is Ali Locke, B-L-O-C-K-A, double L-Y, not for the first one.
Excellent. Now, how old are you?
Currently 18 years old.
18 years old, okay. And what was your occupation during this job?
I was working at McDonald's for 6 months prior before the accident.
So, what did you do at McDonald's? What was your position?
I worked at the till sometimes, and just go back and cook when they needed me.
Was there ample opportunity to see the customers in the room?
Very definitely was.
Okay. And what time did you notice Jamie, Coralie, and Christoph enter McDonald's?
They came in around 6, and I know they left approximately at 6:30. So in between that time window, they were at a lovely restaurant enjoying lovely seafood.
Excellent. So, how did you know Jamie, Coralie, and Christoph?
We all went to the same high school.
So, which high school was this?
So Winston Churchill. It's a lovely school.
Yes. So, who got up and walked towards the exit door first?
Jamie was the first one to walk up to the door.
Interesting. So now, when you were called back to attend the hash browns, who else did you see at the restaurant? Did you see anyone else? Did you see Coralie and Christoph?
No, when I had to attend.
Objection. That's a direct question.
You can ask direct. Wait, never mind.
No, it's
The leading question?
Okay. So let me
Rephrase
rephrase
your
that.
Leading
question.
question, sorry.
Sustained, thank you.
Okay.
Rephrase your question.
Okay, so who did you see after you were finished with the hash browns?
After I was done with the hash browns, I had noticed that all of them had gone. So yeah, they all left our amazing restaurant.
All right. I believe that is all for today, Ms. Block. Thank you very much.
Very well.
Have a nice day.
Very interesting. Thank you very much. You may be seated. And Crown Counsel, you may cross-examine this witness.
Hello, Ali.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I am terrific.
So, you were working at McDonald's.
Yes, I was.
Lovely job. I will. I definitely will. So, you saw Coralie Moore, Christoph Hockley, and Jamie Clark.
Indeed, I did.
And you recognized them from,
High school.
okay. Were you guys friendly?
Me and Jamie were real close, I do believe. Cora liked her.
Okay.
Sorry, Cora.
And did you witness any unusual activity while they were there?
No.
Any arguments, screaming, fighting?
No.
So everything seemed perfectly happy.
As they always do, yeah.
Okay. And you saw the three enter together but not leave together, is that right?
That is absolutely 100% positive, correct.
Okay, so after Jamie left, you were called back to deal with hash browns.
Yes,
So is it possible that Jamie might have come back in and left with the other two?
it's very possible.
Or are you, so you're not 100% sure that Jamie left by themselves and the two did not follow? Okay. And do you remember what any of them were wearing that day?
No idea.
Okay. Good point. So you said you were very friendly with Jamie Clark.
Yes.
Is it possible that you might have had a crush on Jamie Clark? Such a big crush that maybe you would be lying to support him?
Love is not that gay, but I did have feelings for Monsieur Clark.
Is that maybe the reason you did not quite like Coralie more? Alright, so case.
Very well. Very interesting. Thank you, Ms. Block.
Well, you're very welcome.
You may be seated.
Yes.
You probably have to get back to work.
I do. I love me burgers.
Very well. So, defense counsel, do you have any further witnesses to call this afternoon?
No, that is all, Your Honor. Thank you very much.
All right, the defense rests. So, this concludes our witness testimony, and we will now move on to hearing closing statements from the defense and the crown. And the defense will in fact go first. So whenever you're ready, you can address the jury.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen of the jury and Your Honor. So, we have now seen this eventful trial